What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be giving you guys part 3 of my Flash rewrite. So yeah, guys, part 1 was me rewriting seasons 1 through 3, part 2 was seasons 4 through 5, which means this video, part 3, is going to be rewriting seasons 6 and 7. So with that in mind, let's get right into season 6. Now, in my opinion, in Season 6, Episodes 1 through 9, I think are absolutely amazing. I just have two huge problems with this storyline. This is the Bloodwork storyline, of course. Bloodwork is such a great main villain, but I just have two main problems with this storyline. The first one, Frost. Ever since she stopped being a villain, I have thought Frost is an absolutely awful character. I don't like Frost at all, and I thought she was especially bad during these first 7, 8, 9 episodes of Season 6. I really just have not been a fan of her character whatsoever. And the other problem is, in Crisis on Infinite Earths, I loved the episode, but Barry did not even vanish. It was like a buildup of 6 years where we thought Barry was going to vanish in this coming crisis, and then he just doesn't end up vanishing at all. All of that just for Earth 90 Flash to vanish in Crisis. I really did not like that. What I think should have happened instead is Barry should have vanished and then, just basically done what happened in the comics. He turned into Speed Force energy, but then eventually came out of the Speed Force. I think that definitely should happen on the show, but it, could have been like just throughout season 6. It would have been a lot less, time. But anyways, yeah, for the first 7 or 8 episodes of this Bloodwork storyline, I thought he was an absolutely amazing villain. Bloodwork is such a good villain, and Season 6, Episode 7 is one of the best episodes that we've ever had of The Flash. That episode was absolutely amazing. The Bloodwork finale, I thought, was pretty good. But yeah, in this Bloodwork storyline, I think it was, there's not really much wrong with it. The introduction of Nash Wells, I thought he was a pretty cool character. The build up to Crisis on Infinite Earths in these episodes here, I thought was really good. But yeah, besides Frost, there's really not much wrong with this Bloodwork storyline. But now, on to after Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, I think episodes 10 and 11, I think those episodes are just terrible. Those episodes are not very good, especially episode 11, the one with Amunet Black and Goldface. That episode, there were some funny moments in that episode. However, that episode is still just terrible. So what I think should have happened is those two episodes should have been focused on Barry being stuck in the Speed Force after he vanished in Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I think is something that definitely should have happened. So yeah, maybe, in episode 10, Team Flash is dealing with, Barry's death, all that stuff. But then in, episode 11, they find out that he's actually still in the Speed Force and they can get him out. And then they end up getting him out, maybe in, episode 12 or something along the lines of that. I do like episode 12, though, because that introduces Sue Dearborn, who I think is a great character. Then episode 13, we have the Grodd episode. That definitely was a very, very good episode. Episode 14 was also great. Reverse Flash returned in that episode, along with Kid Flash also returning. The Death of the Speed Force storyline started up. That's a great storyline. Episode 15, which is, that focuses around Nash Wells, the Reverse Flash. That's another great episode. So really, episodes 12 through 15, I think, are very, very good. I think it's just, episodes 10 and 11 that I would change for this sort of second half of Season 6. But then episode 16, I really didn't like that. We still have, I really like the scenes where Barry's losing his speed. That's always really interesting. However, I just didn't like the Ragdoll character. I really don't like Ragdoll that much. He's not that threatening of a villain. But this episode just wasn't as good as I thought it maybe could be. What I think should have happened in this episode instead of what we got is somehow Bloodwork escapes and somehow Bloodwork is again a villain. I think that would be so cool to see, instead of this Ragdoll type thing, because maybe you could say, I don't know, because of Crisis on Infinite Earths, Bloodwork is now free or something along the lines of that. I'm not exactly sure how they would do that, but I think that would have been really, really cool. So in episode 16, you would have had Bloodwork return, and then in episode 17, I think that is when you can sort of start this Black Hole Eva McCulloch stuff, because in season 6, the Eva McCulloch Black Hole stuff, it's not really that interesting. I really wasn't too big of a fan of that. So I think, still trying to implement some Bloodwork stuff into the season would have worked a lot better. So yeah, maybe at the end of episode 16, Bloodwork just, you know, gets away, just like Reverse Flash always gets away, or Cicada always got away. I think that, you know, could have worked, so then that could lead into season 7. So yeah, at the end of episode 16, Bloodwork gets away. Episode 17, we start with the Mirror Monarch storyline. In episode 18, we take a break from the Mirror Monarch storyline, still do that Godspeed episode, which I think was really, really good. I really enjoyed that episode. And then episode 19, you'd start up again with the Mirror Monarch storyline. The only part about the Mirror Monarch storyline that I actually kind of liked was Iris being stuck in the Mirrorverse. I actually really did like that storyline of how, you know, that was all affecting Team Flash, and I think that is when you can start with the Mirror Iris stuff, because Mirror Iris, all that stuff particularly wasn't very interesting, but Iris being trapped in the Mirrorverse I thought was still pretty interesting. So yeah, guys, I still think that Season 6 is a pretty good season. I just think they definitely needed to implement less of that Mirror Monarch stuff, and they should have definitely, you know, brought Bloodwork back along with all these other interesting storylines that they had, like the Grodd stuff, the Reverse Flash storyline, Death of the Speed Force, Kid Flash returning. All that was great. I just think they definitely needed to tone it down a little bit on the Mirror Monarch stuff. But anyways, now on to Season 7, and oh my goodness, there is a lot of things we can change about this one. If you guys actually haven't seen it, I have an entire Flash Season 7 review. You guys can go watch that. It's over 30 minutes long. I kind of ranted in that video. But anyways, I'm just going to give you guys like a little bit of an overview about what I thought of the season and what I would personally change. So the first 2 episodes, I think, are very, very good. I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Episode 3, you know, that one's not as good. Definitely not even close to being as good. The Mirror Monarch stuff, you know, it just needed to end. That storyline I just really did not enjoy very much. Episode 4, you know, it's not too bad. Abracadabra was a really threatening villain in this episode. However, there's still tons of cringy writing in this season and the rest of the episode as a whole. So I would definitely change that. First of all, episode 5 is great. Psyche is just such a cool villain. And I think that Psyche should have definitely been the villain for the entirety of the Force's storyline, because the Speed Force, I absolutely hate the Speed Force as a villain. I don't like that the Speed Force is in the form of a person. I don't like that. I really wish they would go back to the Speed Force being like a force of nature and not an actual person. I really hate that they call the Speed Force Nora. It just makes me angry. I really don't like that. Instead, what I think should have happened is Barry should have been representing the Speed Force. He should represent the Speed Force, because that's what happens in the comics. Barry himself creates the Speed Force when he gets struck by lightning, so I think that definitely should have been implemented onto the show. And you know, the People versus Killer Frost episode, that one was awful. As I said before, I hate Frost so much. I don't like the Frost character. I think she's cringy and just unbelievably terribly written. There's really no reason for her to be on the show unless she's a villain. She's such a great character when she's a villain, but when she's not a villain, I really don't like her character. So yeah, now in this Forces storyline, of course you'd have all the forces. Barry would be representing the Speed Force, and the main villain would be Psyche. So I think that is what should definitely change about this Forces storyline, along with, of course, you know, the writing is awful. I want to see Barry do more CSI work. I think that'd be really cool. And just a lot of things need to change about this storyline. I kind of like the Timeless episode 9, where they Barry and Timeless Wells do time travel. I think that's pretty cool, but overall I don't know exactly how to change up this Forces storyline enough to where it's actually like really good. But yeah, if Psyche were the main villain, I think he would be a much better main villain. But yeah, the Forces storyline is probably the worst storyline I've ever seen on The Flash. Now, moving on to episode 12. Now, this episode, I won't really change much because, you know, Cisco's final episode is a season regular. I do like that. However, I absolutely despise the villain choice for this episode. I thought the villain was absolutely just so dumb. I definitely think they should have brought a villain back from The Flash season 1. That would have been really, really cool to see. Who knows? Maybe they could have even brought back Reverse Flash and said that he was the villain for the episode. I think that would have been a really cool homage to season 1. That would have been really cool to see. Then moving on to episodes 13 and 14, I would rather watch paint dry than watch these episodes. These episodes were absolutely terrible, and those episodes are where the Godspeed storyline really should have started off. So we should have actually had 6 Godspeed episodes instead of 4. Instead of the Godspeed storyline is just the size of a small crossover, which I really was not a fan of. But anyways, so I think there could be 3 episodes of this Godspeed storyline, where there should have been 6 episodes of, the entirety of the storyline, but 3 of those episodes should have been where they're focusing on the Godspeed clones, and then the next 3 should be versus the real August Hart. Of course, you'd still have Bart Allen, you still have Nora West Allen returning, you still have all these speedsters, and I definitely think Wally West should have returned for this Godspeed storyline. That would have been really, really cool to see all these different speedsters fighting Godspeed. That would just have been so cool, along with better writing. This Godspeed storyline could have been so good, but instead I think it was just slightly above average. So yeah, guys, those were the changes I would make to Season 6 and Season 7. Like I said before, if you guys want to see all my other opinions on Season 7, make sure you guys go watch my Season 7 review. I go over everything in detail in that video. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your thoughts on just, tell me what you guys would personally change about Season 6 and Season 7. Let me know if you guys think I missed anything. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.